Donald Trump can no longer hide his cognitive decline. No matter how hard he tries to cover up the bruises on his hand or strategically place objects in front of his cankles so the media can't see, the decline is right there in plain sight. And the latest victim of Donald Trump's unraveling mind wasn't a political opponent or even the press. It was his own wife, Melania Trump. Yes, Melania was left humiliated by Donald Trump, whose erratic behavior made it crystal clear just how far gone he really is, all right in front of the cameras. We're going to get into that in detail, but before we do, if you could quickly hit the like button, and if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. It really helps us keep bringing you these stories that the mainstream media too often ignores. Now, before we break down exactly how Donald Trump managed to completely embarrass his own wife, let's start with a surprising corner of MAGA media. Even they are starting to admit just how bad Trump's decline really looks, and that reality was perfectly broken down by Tim Miller and Tommy Vietor.
Alex Jones, aforementioned Alex Jones, has some concerns about his president that I'd like to share with you.
Trump has got great genetics. He's tough, and if he takes care of himself, he can make it through these years and then after. But if he doesn't, he's going to have, I predict Trump is going to have some type of collapse within the next 12 months at the current trajectory.
So a collapse is coming in the next 12 months for Trump.
Did you watch this whole segment, by the way?
I've got more. More is to come. First, I want to know if you have any thoughts about the collapse coming in the next 12 months.
It sounds exciting. First, I'm thrilled to hear it. Alex Jones was ahead of the curve probably on all things Biden's health. Unfortunately,
That's true.
We should probably
That's
admit
a
that.
good point.
We should probably admit that.
The ankles from Alaska, they're straight on shot. They are big. They are swollen. I mean, they are like really big. I mean, they look like my neck's 19 and a half inches.
That's a big neck.
Like that. His ankles look like they're about 15 inches around. That's not a good sign for the heart and the rest of the body, because the rest of him, he's lost weight. He's not that fat. So Trump really needs to exercise and take care of himself. Yeah, that's not good.
Oh, someone make a TikTok audio out of that. That is good.
Please.
The cankles are getting fucking thick.
When even Alex Jones admits Donald Trump is in clear cognitive decline, you know it's bad. Trump looks terrible, sounds terrible, and his decline is obvious to everyone except the mainstream media, who still refuse to say it. But here, we will. Because Trump's decline isn't just about slurred words. It's about how he lashes out. The weaker he gets, the more desperate and hypocritical his attacks become. Congressman Jamie Raskin exposed that perfectly when Trump went after John Bolton, doing exactly what he once promised never to do. And now, even Melania has become a victim of Trump's unraveling, humiliated by her husband's obvious decline in front of the world.
Our top story, the FBI is searching the home of former Trump National Security Advisor John Bolton. Sources tell CNN the court-authorized search is part of a national security investigation into whether Bolton disclosed classified information in his 2020 book that he was not supposed to. Joining me now is Democratic Congressman Jamie Raskin of Maryland, who is the top Democrat on the House Judiciary Committee. Thank you so much for being here. First, you are not only the ranking Democrat on Judiciary, John Bolton happens to live in your suburban D.C. in your Maryland district. What is your reaction to this search?
Well, and I, of course, support the constitutional rights of all of my constituents, Dana. And look, this episode is disturbing, and it seems to confirm Bolton's own prediction that if Donald Trump got back into office, his administration would be consumed with vengeance and retribution against his perceived political enemies. They stripped John Bolton of his security detail on the first day of the administration, I believe. They stripped him of his security clearance. He was listed on Kash Patel's so-called enemies list. And it seems as if perhaps the president was not pleased with what Bolton was saying during the course of the big summit with Vladimir Putin here in the United States in Alaska. And he was reminding everybody that Vladimir Putin had one goal, which was to capture Ukraine and reabsorb it into the newly reconstituted Russian Empire. So obviously that got on Donald Trump's nerves, and I think we can see the result of it here. At least, based on the information I've got, this looks like it's very much in line with the other acts of political retribution and vengeance exacted against Bolton.
I mean, that's a pretty big charge that you're not just dancing around, you're saying. You think this is political retribution? Well,
look, obviously we don't know the facts, so we want to find out what all the facts are. But if we want to talk about, taking government files unlawfully, Donald Trump should release special counsel Jack Smith's report on Donald Trump's taking of intelligence information and secured information and not returning it. And why have we not seen anything about that? Why have we not seen any investigation or any probe into Signalgate? The discussion of highly classified material over a Signal chat room. So, if there's any merit to it, nonetheless, it does seem like it is a very selectively deployed principle within the Trump administration.
So, the John Bolton raid was really what was animating Donald Trump yesterday, considering he didn't want us talking about Jeffrey Epstein, and he's always happy to rail against his perceived political opponents. But this time, it didn't go so well. Not just because it showed how insane Donald Trump was, that he was abusing the power of the presidency, but also because it ultimately backfired on Melania. As we can see in a really disturbing remark right here, Trump makes off-color joke about his wife's drawers. The president's comments came in response to a question about the FBI raid on John Bolton's home. Donald Trump made an off-color joke about the FBI going through his wife's drawers as he sought to distance himself from the raid against the former National Security Advisor, John Bolton. Speaking in the Oval Office after agents descended on Bolton's Maryland home on Friday morning, Trump once again insisted he had nothing to do with the investigation against his long-standing nemesis. But the president also brought up the raid that the FBI conducted on his Mar-a-Lago residence in August 2022, when the then Republican candidate was the subject of a Biden Justice Department probe into the alleged mishandling of classified documents. Trump was livid about the agency executing the search warrant at the time, claiming that the FBI officers had rummaged through the First Lady Melania Trump's clothing and her personal items and then left the area in a mess. But as he recounted the episode on Friday, the president made a somewhat off-color quip, telling the reporters, "They went through everything they could, including my young son's room and my wife's area. They went through her drawers." As the expression goes, she's very neat. She's meticulous, Trump added. And when she came back, she looked and she said, "Whoa, this wasn't the way she had it, so I know the feeling." It's not a good feeling. The Mar-a-Lago raid eventually led Trump to being indicted on 37 federal charges, most of which related to the willful retention of classified material in violation of the Espionage Act. Trump recently claimed investigators went through Melania's area, which honestly makes it sound like they don't even live together. Separate rooms, separate lives. And considering there were classified documents found in his bathroom, it raises even more questions. But covering things up is nothing new for Donald Trump. This is exactly the kind of energy we need from Democrats: consistent, relentless and unafraid to keep the spotlight on issues like the Epstein files and Donald Trump's corruption. Too often these stories get buried or brushed aside, but we can't allow that. The American people deserve truth and accountability. And that only happens if we keep talking about it every single day. That's exactly what we'll do here on this channel. So if you'd like to support this work, don't forget to hit subscribe, give this video a like, and if you made it all the way to the end, drop a blue heart in the comments. Together, we're going to make sure the truth can't be ignored. Until next time, I will see you soon.